I'm an Infinite Edge Pro. We picked this up for my son last Christmas. You can catch that link to the video. I'll link it a few times. We did a gear review on this a year ago. And the reason I'm kind of doing a part 2 now is it's a year later. My son has grown another 2.5 inches and we have to adjust this bow for him again as he's growing like a weed. And so there's a few things I wanted to take care of here. We got to adjust the draw length. We're going to check what our poundage is. Got a few other little tweaks here. We're going to walk through a little bit of this, setting this bow back up for him as he's growing taller. So here we go. I did not, this little hole right there, I did not put that right here through the stabilizer hole, and that'll actually just let this sit in place. There's a lot of strap left here, so this is going to be the first thing I'm going to do today. I'm going to take the stabilizer off, screw it through here, and just get this strap in place. All right, so this is so easy. We just got to get the stabilizer off. I'll unscrew that. Put our wrist strap hole right there. I'll put the stabilizer back in. So on the Diamond Infinite Edge Pro, they have 3 different settings, A, B, and C. And C is kind of that low setting where you're going to get the lower poundage, you're still going to be in the right draw length. And then as you start increasing your poundage, you're going to start considering going up to the A or to the B and then to the A setting. And you can see right here, they have these things marked, A and B. But then in order to do the C, you wrap it around the B and come back in and tie it into the A. And that is how we have his bow set up right now. So that is the C setting. And we're going to be leaving it on the C setting this year. His poundage, he's probably still not even drawing 20 pounds at this point. We'll find out. We're going to do a poundage test. He doesn't know this, but I was cranking up our bolts right here to increase the poundage last year. Every week or two after he was shooting, I'd give it a quarter crank and another quarter crank and another quarter crank, and he would keep shooting and he didn't even realize it. So he was getting pretty good, but I don't know what the poundage is right now. We're going to find out today. So, but yes, we are leaving it on the C setting for this. That's why this is a great bow for young kids to grow with, though, for even beginners. That C, B, A, different draw lengths, different poundage. It's a good bow. Last year when we set up the draw length, my son's wingspan was 53 inches. This year he's 55.5 inches. And when we did that wingspan, that was from the tip of your middle finger, you stretch out like this, go tip, run a measuring tape to the other tip of your finger, and there you go. And there's multiple ways of calculating this. I think some people just divide that by 2.5. I subtracted 15, then divided by 2. That was another method I saw. There's other methods too where you hold your hands out and measure from, I don't know if it's your chest out to your fingers or something like that. But that's how we did it. Wingspan, divided that, minus 15, divided by 2. He's 55.5 inches this year compared to 53 last year. So that's why we need to do an adjustment. So in order to change the draw length on this bow, they have these modules on each side. You can see one here, and here's one here on this cam. And these modules have these numbers on them, going from basically 1 up to 12.5, it appears. And we need to get this module set to 7 this year for his 20.25 inch draw. And so what I have to do is take out these bolts, these little screws actually with a hex wrench. I have to unscrew those and slide that module around. Now, since I don't have the poundage up way high on this, I'm feeling pretty safe that I could just go ahead and unscrew these. Now, if your poundage was up high and I don't know what that line might be, you could always adjust your weight out in order to do this yourself from home. Otherwise, you might have to take it to a bow shop, get it on a bow press. But since I already know that my poundage is really low on this bow, I feel comfortable that I could take these out. Now, what I'm going to do first, though, is take out the first nut that you see right there, and then I'll unloosen this one. As I draw both of those nuts out, then I'm going to hold this module down. So last year I didn't do that, and there was still enough pressure. The line slipped out from underneath the module and popped the module off. So then it was kind of a pain to get it back in there and have the bowstring still on that module there. and get the holes lined up. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to unscrew these. These have blue Loctite on them. When you put the screws back in again, I probably want to put blue Loctite back in. So I'm going to take off that nut. I'm going to slide this around till it equals 7, put these 2 screws back in, and then I'm going to make sure it matches on this side too. And it's easy to match up because there's this one little kind of a nut looking thing right here that has a line on it. And that line is to match up with the number by the guidelines. So we want to get them on 7, so I got a little bit of adjustment to do and we'll get started. Bison jerky. I went in the garage and got bison jerky and forgot to get the blue Loctite. So we're going to check the poundage of the bow now. Last year I backed it all the way out, so it went down to 6 or 8 pounds, whatever that lowest setting probably is, and I didn't measure it, I just knew it was light. But I want to measure it now and see where it's at after I've actually cranked it up a little bit over time. I'm using just one of my fish scales. I've used this for my gear reviews for weighing jackets and backpacks. I think this will work. So we're just going to give it the pull here. I'm just got a little bit out and it's up to 9 pounds. There's 10 pounds, 12, 13. I was at 13 pounds, 4 ounces. If I hit full draw, it's sitting at 7 pounds, 5 ounces once you get to that valley right there. So that's probably pretty accurate. 10. Yeah, I would say that's probably pretty accurate. So I'm guessing it's around that 12 to 13 pound mark. Interesting hitting the valley and getting to a full draw, how it drops almost 5 to 6 pounds right there when I'm holding it at full draw, but cool. The one last thing about this Diamond Infinite Edge Pro, it comes with this limb right here, and this is kind of a bowstring stop limb. And I've had it out this last summer. So if you look online on these things, a lot of people will say there should be a small gap between the string to the stop, just like a credit card gap. Then I've seen some videos and some people say they like it when their string actually touches. Here's why I took it out of this one though. So it's really touches. And let's see, there it is. And so you could actually see a slight bend in the actual bowstring. I think that's too much. Personally, I think that's probably just stopping it on a dime. And so everything I read online that I've read, that I've watched, that's not recommended. So it's easy to take out. It's just this little screw right there. You just unscrew that, take it out. I put the screw back in just to save it there. I might look into maybe getting a different string stop, but to me, that one's too long. It hits really hard. Like I said, it has that bend. So I'm going to leave this out again. And there's a lot of people that say too that it doesn't matter so much if it's in or out. So I wish somebody like Mythbusters would figure these things out. What is the best? The little bit of a bend, slightly touching, slightly off like a credit card size. That'd be nice to know. See some real math on that. So we're just going to take our first spring shots here finally. One thing I don't know right now is where will that sight hit with these arrows. We're at 20 yards. It's what he was mainly shooting last year, was 20 yards. We'll see. Hopefully we just hit the target. So we'll go from there. But otherwise, hey, it's a good day. We're shooting our bow. Just short again. Try the next one. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. If you had any other questions on this, drop some comments down below. I'll try and answer back to you. Also, if you haven't watched part 1, it goes into a little bit more depth on a few of the things I talked about. Go watch part 1. I think I've linked it up a few times here. But once again, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. Until next time, you have a good night.